Hi, friends. I'm Olivia, the Southern Yankee Stitcher. Welcome to my Flosstube. This is a channel about cross stitch, and I have quite a bit to share with you today. You know how plans go. You make great plans, and things get in your way, like a hurricane. My plans for this video were to be a home decor, fall decor tour of my home, but I have yet to fully decorate for fall, and I'm not sure that I'm going to. I keep, with the exception of my stitching, all my stitching stays in my house, but the rest of my home decor is in my shed in rubber tubs, and fall is on the very top shelf. I need to change this, but I haven't been able to get to it, reach it. And I haven't had anyone who could really help me do it during daylight hours, or So, I haven't been able to get my decorations down. Then this storm came through called Hurricane Helene, and I'm sure y'all have heard about that. And really, we were very blessed. We did not get, we got hit pretty hard, but not the near devastation that North Carolina got. In our county, almost everyone was without power for a number of days. I believe it was 26,000 in our county without power, which was, I don't even know how many are in our county. But it was a large majority. We were without power for 5 days. I had a coworker who just got her power back on after 12 days with no power. For us, we're on a well, so no power means no water. So actually, my sister and my son had water at their homes, but it was freezing cold because they didn't have power. But everyone still came to my house and brought food that needed to be cooked or it was going to ruin, that was in the refrigerator, or brought food that was in their freezers that was starting to thaw. And luckily I had plenty of propane, so we fired up the grill. Now, I have not grilled personally since before I was married, so 30-some years. The last time I remember firing up a gas grill was when I still lived at home at my mom's, and I charred all the hairs on my arm when I did it. So it kind of turned me off to grilling. My husband and my son have always been the grill masters when we decide we want to cook out. But I fired up the grill, we cooked, we had racks of ribs, we had like 25 turkey burgers we had to cook. Now, we had a lot of people here too, but we had canned biscuits in the refrigerator, and so we put those in a cast iron skillet, put them on the grill. We turned a bad situation to something as good as it could be. I know my granddaughters thought these are the greatest days of my life because they were over here. Everyone was giving them attention, playing with them constantly, or holding them constantly. They were so spoiled. Once we got power back, I kind of remember when I was a kid when we would lose power. Most of the time it meant that we were going to sleep in the living room in our sleeping bags with a fire in the fireplace. And I didn't think at the time of all the things my mother was going through, because sometimes our pipes would freeze. We had spring water, and there's a little arm that came out of the spring that would freeze, and my mom went out there with a hairdryer. She had heater tape. She used all kinds of things to thaw it, and never acted stressed. It was always like, we're going to cook hot dogs over the fire and marshmallows and make the best of it. And when we lost power, I thought that was a great day. So I'm sure my grandkids did too, but we just tried to make the best of it. We had a lot of family time for sure. My son had to work. He's a sheriff's deputy, I've told y'all before, and he was told, you have no days off for the foreseeable future. So I don't know if everyone has power back. A lot of people, some people lost their homes from trees. We had 3 big trees come down our yard. Of course, hit the fence, my 1-year-old fence. But, I mean, that's what you have insurance for, So, anyway, been praying for the people in North Carolina that were hit so hard. And the devastating loss that so many have suffered. And I hope you all are doing the same. Like I said, we were 5 days without power. We had a swimming pool in the back, so we got buckets of water so we could fill up the tank and flush the toilet. And my daughter-in-law would bring us drinking water every day, so we had water to drink and cook with. And we just made the best of it. Just made the best of it. Thankfully, it wasn't 95 degrees. The highest it said in my house was 80. I talked to a friend and her thermostat said the same. I think the thermostats only go up to 80 because I think it was hotter than 80 at my house. But we tried to just go on the porch and catch a breeze, and of course had all the windows open. But anyway, enough about that. We got back power. I had power back, I guess, 2 days before I left for a retreat. So things were not all bad in my world, for sure. Like I said, I'm very blessed, and we all talked about things that we take for granted, and I hope it was a learning lesson for everyone, to just be thankful for what you have, because man, you don't think about turning on the spigot and having water. You don't think about that every day, but that's a blessing in itself. Anyway, I'm going to get on with stitching because I have a lot to share with you today. I have some fully finishes, and a couple of them were starts. They are part of my fall decor, and I got off track, didn't I? Talking about my fall decor. I still haven't got out anything except for my stitching. So that may be almost all of the fall I put out. I'm just not real anxious to go digging through and put it up for a few weeks. We're in the middle of October at this point. So it may just be kind of not a whole lot of decorating. But I did some things this year that I've been wanting to do for a number of years. And if you saw my cover photo, you saw the pumpkins. And let me show you those first. These were starts and finishes. This is the first one, candy corn. This pattern, I got this pattern online. It was there were like 3 pieces of candy corn, 2 going this way and 1 in the middle going the opposite way. I don't know. There was no name on it when I printed it out, and I need to be better about paying attention to where I get them so I can give them credit. But this was an online thing. Now, this is a pumpkin I've had for quite a while. I used it inside a number of years in different types of arrangements, and I used it outside, so it started to get a little faded from being used outside. Because when you put real pumpkins outside in South Carolina, they rot pretty quick. So I've been there and done that. I probably will still do that because it's fun with the kids to get real pumpkins at the pumpkin patch. But for long-lasting decor, this is the way to go, craft pumpkin. They're made out of this foam. It kind of, like when you cut into it, it kind of reminds me of that spray foam insulation that expands. That's kind of what these are made out of. Okay, so I want to tell you a little bit about, well, I've been wanting to do this for, 9 years. In October 2015, I got this issue of Country Living magazine. And I saw that and said, oh, I want to stitch on pumpkins. They look like they're real pumpkins they stitched on. Those stems look real, but no, I'm not going to do all that work for one season. Because let me tell you, it was not as easy as you might think. I'll tell you how I did it. Let me, what do I have? I hope I have my sheets. I do. Okay, let me first show you the other one I did. I did this one. I wanted to make it, I had a thread pack that my daughter had given to me for Christmas a few years back. And they were all fall colors. And I thought this is a great thing to use that on. I think it's Artiste maybe. That comes from Hobby Lobby. So instead of doing like a blue TP on here, I made mine light green. I should have done blue. Because before I had it finished, it looked like a Christmas tree. Green was not a good choice. And the yellow here in the middle doesn't show up real well here. But I still love it. I think you can still tell it's a teepee. I do have some Indians, Native Americans that I cross-stitched before I was married. So it's been 30-some years. And they were made into little pillows. They are in my storage shed somewhere. I've seen them. And I was like, what can I do with them? I'm going to, they're pillows now, but they're bigger pillows. I'm going to make them into small pin keeps and put them around this. And maybe some pilgrims too. I've kind of been looking for some pilgrim charts that would maybe be in a similar style to the Indians I did. But so anyway, I'm going to tell you how I did these. I'm going to have to get it out of the way. So first I got a pattern. Now for the teepee, this came from the Sequin Turtle. This is on the pattern online, free pattern online. The Sequin Turtle. Mine was not the full pattern because I needed my stitches to be pretty big. So I kind of modified the pattern, but it was a good start. So, first of all, I used 12 strands of DMC, or that artiste thread also comes in 6 strands. What I've seen people do before is take like carbon paper, put a piece of carbon paper down, put your pattern down, and then mark your dots. I didn't have any carbon paper. So I just took some graph paper. I blew it up a little bit, made it a little bit larger because I knew I was going to need, so much space for my thread because it's going to have to be a good bit of thread going through there. And then I used an awl or an ice pick. I have both. I don't remember which I was using because I had them both in my hand, trying to figure out which worked best, and poked all the holes. I pinned it on with straight pins, and I put the pin in where a hole was going to be. You need to use something kind of big like the ice pick because this is almost like self-healing. If you just put a pinhole in here, you're not going to see it. It's going to close right back up. It's kind of self-healing. So you need to make them kind of big. Pushing your needle in from this side was easy. Pushing it from the back, it was so hard. It was so hard because it's not like a piece of fabric, and I was having trouble finding the hole. When I got to maybe about this part, then I could see inside what I was doing, and I could see the hole. Once you get your hand in there, you're covering it up. It's really, it's kind of tricky. So what I did, and I don't have my ice pick here, but what I did for the tree, the whole tree, is I pre-punched all the holes with this. Then I had to go back. Once I pushed my needle through and it's time to bring it back out, I put the ice pick in so I could feel the point on the inside. I'd line my needle up to that and push it through because I could not get it to go through. It just easily find the hole. Maybe it's just me, but it was hard. Now, I cut this off the bottom, so you have a hole, and I cut it, and I made sure to angle it in this way, so you're sure the inside is smaller than the outside. You know what I mean? If you angled it this way, you wouldn't be able to get it out. I started using just like a kitchen knife. Then I remembered I had a pumpkin carving kit, like a kid's pumpkin carving kit. That works the best to do this part. You just saw it. It's all around in a circle. I will glue it back, but my idea is this side is just kind of generic fall. The other side, I'm going to put something that's Halloween, like maybe a black cat or something. And then I can just have them in my display this way or this way with a black cat. So I'm not going to glue this on until I do the black cat. But those are two of my finishes. I will say this about Country Living magazine. I wanted to show you this too. Bear with me a moment. I don't know if they still do. I don't get the magazine anymore. But they used to have a cross-stitch pattern in every issue. But you can go online and get those. They're free. You don't have to have a subscription or anything. And just Google Country Living cross stitch, and there's all kinds of patterns. I printed out all kinds of stuff because I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do. Turkey, a cab, and some of the older ones are just a ball jar. They're just the chart with symbols. Some of the newer ones are just colors, colored blocks. So you need a color printer probably to do them. But anyway, so that was a big project, and it was not easy. And my hands would cramp a little bit because I've got arthritis in my hands. But I was so glad to have it done because I've wanted to do it for so long. And I told myself, I am doing it this year. I will show some pictures at the end of this video of how I've used those pumpkins in my decor. And like I said, everything's not done because I don't have those Indian pieces I stitched so many years ago. But anyway, excuse me. Thirsty. I am. I've got to go pick up my grandsons in Georgia today. Not like I have to. I'm happy to go pick up my grandsons in Georgia today for them to come here for a long weekend. So I got up this morning, got my shower. I thought, I'm going to do this video. So my hair is kind of wet. I'm looking at my hair. And then I have to go work at my church and then hit the road to go pick them up. So I wanted to get this in first. But I have another fully finish. It's by the Calico Confectionery. It's called Ebenezer. This is a chart that I received at a retreat at Pianist Crossing. And we got all the finishing materials and everything, and this is my finish. I don't know if I don't like how that hung. It covers up the word, but I'll fix that later. Just put black felt on the back. It's a little bit, I didn't do the felt very well. It's got a little wrinkle in it, kind of, but it's just the back, so. Bah humbug. This makes me think of an attorney I worked for in Virginia, and he was very grumpy. The biggest compliment he ever gave me was a card he gave me that said something to a workhorse and gave me some cash, a bonus. He was so mean, but he did like me because I did work hard. And around Christmas time, he'd start saying, bah humbug. And he's like, you girls don't even know what it means. It means hypocrite, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it kind of reminds me of him. His name was Gary. I won't tell you his last name. I don't know if he's still living or not. I've lost touch. That's been 25 years ago I worked for him. But I do love A Christmas Carol movie. I think the one with George C. Scott's probably my favorite. I think that's probably a lot of people have that as their favorite. But anyway, I love Bah Humbug. It turned out cute. And the thing is, I would have never bought this. If I hadn't got it at a retreat, I would have never stitched it, but I love it. I need to think outside the box, outside my box. Okay, last time I did a video, I couldn't find a finish. I'm like, I know I have it. I know I had it here. I know I had it here. Couldn't find it. I found it. It was beside my sewing machine. It was wrapped up in some cloth that I was going to use for finishing on the back, and that's why I couldn't see it. It came out of this Leisure Arts publication, Celebrations to Cross Stitch and Craft, Winter Spring 1990. Boy, that's a blast from the past. I got this at a thrift store, and I saw this bunny, and I really liked him. There's some other like alphabets and stuff in here, and that's why I decided to get it. There's some dated things, but let me see if I can, like, there's a good alphabet. So I probably shouldn't show that chart, but oh well. I looked at this bunny and I thought, okay, it calls for a whole lot of DMC. There's 26 DMC colors in this bunny. And I thought, should I just use a variegated brown for his body? And I thought, no, you know what? I'm just gonna do what it calls for. So the only thing I didn't do called for are like the eggs in this basket. I have lots of little pieces of floss that were part of kits or something left over, and you know me, I just don't throw that stuff away. But so that's what I used for the eggs, because I only needed, you know, it's like 6-7 stitches, 10 stitches maybe in an egg. But here's my bunny all done. I want to do a stand-up with him, and that's why he was hanging out by the sewing machine. Sorry for all the strings. Because I need to figure out how I'm going to do a stand-up. I didn't really center him on this scrap of fabric. I stitched him on very well, but I think I can still do a stand-up with him. If not, he'll be a little pillow or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But anyway, that's my bunny. He's pretty cute. I don't know if all this is bagged together. I was trying to figure out what finishing fabric to use. There are my two options to use on the back of him. I'm not sure I really like either one of them. And that's probably why it's still sticking around, because I want to be sure I like what I'm doing. All right. The next chart, and another finish, is Autumn Fling. I showed this to you before. Woohoo Stitches, Autumn Fling. It has the 3 months that go with it: September, October, November, which is a sunflower, a pumpkin, and Indian corn. I did not stitch the small ones. I just stitched the big one. This is it right here. I made some mistakes on it. This little swirl under the word autumn was supposed to be like a burgundy color. And I had it all stitched before I realized I used the wrong color. I'm like, I'm not going to go back and do it. It also had the same kind of zigzaggy border on the top, but I decided I liked it without a top border. So that is Autumn Fling. Then this piece is called Acorn Sampler by Nicoletta Feralto of Nikki's Creations. Let's just go with Nikki's Creations. How about that? This was in the 2017 fall issue of Punch Needle Primitive Stitcher magazine. I was stitching this for a Smalls exchange at the Barefoot Needle Arts Retreat. Well, and I showed this to you all in the fall chart parade, and I pulled it outside the side because I thought, I want to do that. So I stitched it here. I made some changes. The changes are, I made the squirrel's tail a little fuller and their ears less pointy. Now, different squirrels may look different in different places. I hope I'm showing it to you so you can kind of see the differences. So I stitched that for a small exchange for the retreat. I finished it the day before the retreat. I could have come in here and whipped together a pillow real quick probably and taken some trim to sew on while I was there. But I liked it so much I wanted to keep it for myself. Really because I didn't do a lot of stitching on this while all my family was here during the power outage, but I did stitch on it some. And when everyone was back at their home, they all got power before we did, but I was still without power. I stitched on this, and this just kind of reminds me of that storm and all the time family spent together, and I just want to keep it. So I am going to turn it into a pillow, I believe. If I can find a really cute frame that I own, I might frame it, but it's probably going to be a pillow. I think it's cute. Okay. Let me pause and get things resituated because I have a lot to show you. Okay, I'm back. Have some more finishes and some whips to show you. Some starts, actually, I guess, or both. I finished up this one. Little House Needleworks, Grandpa's Pickup. And then I started this one, Dairy Darling. They're all the same fabric, so let me show you those charts first. These I'm doing as ornaments. I don't have enough space. I have all this too much on my desk. So here's the one I finished. Grandpa's Pickup. Here are the other three in the series. Other two in the series I've done so far. And this is the one I started. All the white, only Dairy Darling. So those are going to be ornaments. And then Wally the Walrus, I'm working on him. He's part of the Polar Plunge series. And I finished up Wally. I did not put, it has like, is it supposed to be like lights or garland on the trees? And they put it like in a brown color. I didn't even put it on because I thought mine looked just fine without it. And all of them have these X's, white X's kind of in the water. And I guess it's supposed to show ice or sparkle or something, but I haven't done the X's on any of them. The first one I started to do them, and I just went crazy about them. So I left off the X's too. I have two more left in that series to stitch. Penguin Pear and Puffin Party. So I'll be starting those and working on those, trying to get those done. Of course, they're going to be the ornaments with all the Chantel 141 stuff. And then I worked on Starry Starry Night Part 1. It's kind of hard to see. It's hard to see in person too. They're really not great pictures. I thought I had my phone on. I do have it on silent. I don't know why text messages are ringing. I'm sorry. This is how far I got on it. I did the other two. And I did these because I saw Michelle McGraw do them, and I thought they were beautiful, and I wanted to stitch them as well. And she had said in her video that the darkest colors are very dark blue. She used 3 strands, so it would really show up and black out anything behind it. And I did that on the first 2. Well, I started this at the retreat, Barefoot Needle Arts retreat, and Michelle was there. And when she walked by, she said, "Oh, on the darkest color there, the silhouette, I used 3 strands." I said, "Oh, I forgot. I did that on the other 2." And she said, and I squared them up. And I said, well, I wondered why they were in this odd shape. This one, you can kind of see how it still is. It kind of looks like a mason jar. It looked like a mason jar with a lid at the top and the bottom. And she said these are initially were done on like 56 count or some unreal count of fabric. And they were like a pendant on a necklace. So I'm going through and squaring them up. As I pull out a color that I use on this one, I use it here to square it up. This one's almost squared up. I need a couple of colors here and here. And then this one, you can see where I need the colors. I haven't got to those colors yet. But those are also going to be ornaments in it. And there's one more that, because I have, it's, of course, the wise men on the camels, the shepherds in the field, and then the nativity, the manger scene. The other one that she has is it's Mary and Joseph on the donkey. See, it's so hard to see. So I'm just going to see how far I get by Christmas time. I might do that one too, so that all 4 are done. These are our gift. But if I don't get to it, I feel like I don't need to put Mary and Joseph in there twice. But, I mean, it's telling a story, so it can be. Also, when I was at the retreat, Michelle said the lady told her, I believe it was a designer that told her she was working on more in the series. So that's pretty cool. All right. I had a start. I started this. Each day at the retreat, I tried to start something new. And this was a September whip go that I had not done any of. Santa stopped here. And I love this one. I love a stone house. I love it. So I got a pretty good start. Let me get the threads out of the way here. I got a pretty good start on it. Did it at the retreat. You're at a retreat and you stop to talk and you visit the brag table and you visit the freebie table and you go out to eat and, it's not as much stitching time as you think, but I really tried when I was there to stitch. I keep hitting my mouse and it's messing with the screen. Let me see. Okay. Then the only actual stitching I have left to show you, I have a lot of retreat stuff to show you, is a whip. And this is the stocking that I'm doing for my youngest granddaughter with the penguins. I don't remember where it was the last time you saw it, but most recently I worked over here. I did a little, filled in the white, you can't even see, and I did the black on the fourth penguin. I think they're cute. They don't know what the stocking's going to be. The parents don't know yet. And they had picked one out that I showed you all before that it was terrible. It was a Dimensions Gold kit and all the blending, and not for me. It's not for me. So I switched to that, and my son loved penguins when he was growing up. So anyway, I thought that'd be cute for him. I have, okay, today's the 11th of October, Friday the 11th. Last weekend was Barefoot Needle Arts Retreat. The weekend before was Panda's Crossing Fall Retreat. And it was a Halloween theme. I didn't go. I didn't have power. I couldn't take a shower. For days, we were days in. I did go and get a cold shower at my son's, but I just didn't feel like I should go to a retreat when we had no power here and everybody was here in my house. And it turns out they didn't have power at Panda's either, but they moved some tables outside and stitched outside and did the retreat there. Then they had a makeup for it if you couldn't come, because I think a lot of people didn't go to that one. And that was during the Barefoot Needle Arts Retreat, so I couldn't attend that. So my friend Dottie, the Stitching Scotty, she got all of my kits and everything. At Donna's retreat, you get kits, you get projects to work on. It's not just to bring your stuff and come stitch kind of retreat. So there were several. In an orchid container, it says snake venom on it. I don't really like that. Ugh. Travel mug. It's just plaid. Just a little notepad and some pretzels. And then this coffin case that has in it scissors and a scissor fob. That's cute. Some counting pins. Bats, I like those. Google Live Frankenstein Monster. A pen and some needles. An ink pen. Oh, that was really some really cute things in there. Then, sorry, I'm going to have to zipper. I will show you each of the patterns. I'm sure y'all have seen that before. The Trick or Treat by Hands On Design. And in it, you get the fabric, you get the floss, some more floss, and the ring to complete it in. So that was pretty nice. And she had them all made up in these bags, which I thought was real nice too. I said, did you put them in the bags or did she? She said, no, she did. I was like, oh, I like that, because there have been retreats where I brought stuff home and I'm like, okay, what goes with what? And I tell myself I need to bring Ziplocs when I come so I can put things together. This one I really like. This is from All Through the Night. Halloween is in the air, and it says, Halloween is in the air, the moon is full, beware, beware. I like that one. And we got all the flosses and the fabric. Got a freebie chart from Sweet Wing Studios, Grateful, Thankful, Blessed. Well, you can't even see it. Sweet Wing Studios. Got this from Barbara Anna Designs, and it's called Spooky Tree. I haven't decided if this is me or not. I definitely would not do spiders. I don't do spiders. I don't know. It comes with everything, like the others. Then Shannon Christine Spooky Mug. It also came with everything. And this little house and the magnets to mount it on. Then Bent Creek's Moonlight Berry Sampler. I like that. And it has everything in it. The fabric and the floss. So those were all from Panda's Crossings Fall Retreat. I think I showed everything. There may have been candy that I ate. Can't remember. Yeah. All right. So then I have some things to show you from the Barefoot Needle Arts Retreat. And that I did attend. We did have power back. I told my daughters that whether we had power or not, I was going. I was not going to miss another retreat. I had hotel reservation, I had paid for this. It's too late to cancel. And my youngest was like, "You're going to leave me alone if we have no power?" So my oldest was like, "If we don't have power, I'm going to stay home." Because my oldest daughter said she would go along just to do some shopping and hang out while I was stitching. She didn't care. So we did get power back a couple days before I went, so that was good. But my older daughter came along and she did some shopping, didn't buy a lot. And, just enjoyed the beach. It was beautiful weather while we were there. And I just sat on the balcony and just enjoyed it, relaxed. So anyway, at the retreat, this is a table gift from Jennifer Lee. I mean, pockets. I love it. So nice. And I'm just like, I wish I could make that. I'm not that talented. Another table gift was from Janet. Janet is also a photographer, and this is one that she did. She also had some fall leaves and a butterfly on a sunflower. That was her photography. But I like this one because daffodils are one of my favorite flowers. They're like the first sign of spring. And every year I would pick a bouquet and take them to my mom. From the time I was a kid until the year she passed away. So I had to get a daffodil. We got some thread drops from Cara Ponder, Pink Daisy Stitch on Instagram. Pink Daisy Stitch, Cara Ponder. Project cards. And then borrowed thread cards. If you borrow thread, you put a little note in there so you know where to find it. And then just some thread drops. And this is pictures of her stitching. They're so nice. Very cute. Some candy and like a lens wipe. I'm not sure who that came from. Floss drops. I'm not sure who that. I remember when I was taking some giveaways around and these were offered to me. Then we got, there's like a scissor sheath, a measuring tape, and a needle threader in there. From Barefoot Needle Arts, we got this it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like a polyester, but they were like, if you want to go out to the beach, you can use this to sit on it so you don't get sand all over you. And sand would not stick to this, so that's a good thing. It's silky feeling, real silky. And we got this, you should call it a scissor fob. It's got a starfish in it, and there's a story about starfish in here. We got a little pin. As you know, it has a little crab on it. That crab was kind of their theme. They hid some little stuffed red crabs, look like this, around the room. And if you found one, you got a door prize and some little games. A lady, and her name's not on here, and I can't remember her name, but she was at the Stitch and Thrift retreat. I think not the last one, but the one before, and got my smalls exchange when I had to go home early and not be there. They did it without me, but she gave me a little thing, had some candy and floss in it, and just a little gift, and she said, I loved the small I got, you did. She was so nice about it, so sweet. Got a keychain and some Smarties. I think that was handed out by Barefoot. Someone went around and handed them out. Barefoot, they didn't give everything to you like in a bag to start with. They came around throughout the day, dropping things off. From someone who was supposed to be a table mate and ended up not coming at the last minute. I don't know the exact reason, but there's a gentleman supposed to come and be at our table. He is a friend of a friend who was there stitching, and he went ahead and sent table gifts for everyone, and it was this little cup or I don't know which, little bowl, I guess you call it, and it had candy in it. The candy's gone. And I can't remember his name. It's initials like JD or something like that. I've never met him. I don't know him, but thank you so much for this. I'm going to make a lid for this at a cross stitch and have a pumpkin on the top to match these pumpkins. Y'all have seen the little bowls done that way. I know you have. Barefoot gave us a little message in a bottle. It's a little, just a memento of the retreat. I can put that in my printer's tray. And then they gave us this little pin cushion, and it's just wool wound tight and glued in as a pin cushion. And then they have some counting pins. They're sea turtles. Cute, cute, cute. Let's see. I think those are all the gifts, but I got some freebies. Y'all, as soon as I got to the retreat, we were at the table right beside the freebie table, so I saw it. Put my stuff down, I sat down, I kind of adjusted myself, and then I was like, you know what, I'm going to go look at the freebie table before it gets picked over. Well, I could have gotten, I didn't want to be greedy, obviously. There were a lot of really nice charts in there. And I'm flipping through saying, oh, I like that one, I like that one, I like that one, I like that one. But I tried to be selective because everybody needs to get a good thing off the freebie table, So I'm going to show you some or most of what I got. And some are older, as you'll see, and some are not. These are probably from the 70s. I wish I could find like a date on them. Might be a date inside, but it's dollhouse furniture that you cross stitch. And I'm getting ready to get my dollhouse out of storage and set it up in my house. And then the furniture you make has everything in there for you to make the furniture and stitch the seats. I thought that would be cute. So I got those. And I knew probably not many people would want those. So I didn't feel bad taking those at all. Then I got this one. Satsuma Street. Halloween cat. They had a bunch of Satsuma Street. I got a couple. Something about this, like when I look at this, it's like it's not my style, but I like it. And I think if I just stitch the cat, the moon, and the pumpkins, well, the cats, I see there's 3 cats there, leave the trees off, it would be more me because my Halloween's kind of kitschy. I have a lot of black cats. So I think it would stitch up pretty quick. So I grabbed that. I just loved it since I saw it. Then Rivaris. I assume it's called Ocean of Liberty. Doesn't really say. Has a little charm in there, a little whale charm. Not sure where you put the charm. But it's still sealed with, it's never been opened. I don't think this was part of the Halloween retreat. I think this was from the freebie table. But I'm not exactly sure. I'm pretty sure it's from the freebie table. Lindy Stitches. Dracula's Confession. It says, I love the shade and the shadow, and would be alone with my thoughts when I may. Okay. Then this by Twin Peaks Primitives, $18.99 Christmas. I love that. That reminds me of a display we would do in our bay window of our home when I was growing up. My mom sold Avon. Avon used to have a lot of like decanters that were pretty ladies. And they were all doing something different or in a different color or whatever. And we took all of her pretty lady decanters, and some of them were like Victorian ice skating ladies. And we did a whole display on a mirror with like fake snow around it, so it looked like they were all ice skating, kind of like this. That's what it reminds me of. I remember that display being beautiful. It maybe wasn't as beautiful as I'm remembering it, but I remember it being beautiful. Judith Kirby. Judith Kirby has passed away. There was a shop in Saginaw, Michigan that had the rights to her charts, was selling them. I think they're not doing it anymore. But I did 2 Victorian houses that were Halloween charts, and you could stitch them separately or together, and I did them together. And I have a friend that's borrowing those right now. But this was on the freebie table, another Judith Kirby. And this is a lot different, but kind of along the same lines. But I think it's so pretty. She had a lot of houses in her stuff. This is Rosewood Manor. I'm not sure how you pronounce that word, so I'm just not going to say it. Pretty. So pretty. These 2, I think they're cute. I'm not sure if I would stitch them or if I might. They might be a future giveaway, y'all. I'm just not sure. By the Bay. They're both By the Bay Needle Art. Sorry. By the Bay Needle Art. The first one's called A Homestead Welcome. Oops, sorry. I'm trying to see if it's on this other chart. And the next one is part of the Home Sweet Home series, and it's Windy Harbor Cliff. And you can see the big picture, but then the small picture here shows all of them together. I thought this other one I just showed you was on here, but it's not on there. But this cute as a standalone too. I like the By the Bay stuff. This I picked up and then I put it back down. And when I went back up hours later to the freebie table, or the next day, I don't know when it was still there. And I looked at it and like, gosh, I like that. And it's Waxy Moon Designs Starry Croc. I did some cross stitching back in the early 90s, and they have Crocs in them because I love Crocs. I have Crocs in my decor. And I was like, oh, I really like it. So I grabbed it. This is one to Jeanette Douglas, number 5 Buttons and Bows. Obviously, it says sew together, number 5 Buttons and Bows. I'm sure it's part of a series, but it can definitely be stitched alone. I thought that would be a cute small exchange. Then this is by Cottage Garden. It's called Needleworker's Sampler. Proverbs 31:13. And at the bottom it says, she seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands. One of my favorite verses. You know, if anyone's familiar with Proverbs 31, it's all about, you know, a woman and what she should be. And I used to jokingly say, man, I hate that Proverbs 31 woman, because every time I read Proverbs 31, it reminded me of how slack I am, really. I'm probably more of a Proverbs 31 woman now than I was when I was younger, when things were just so busy and crazy in life. Plum Street Samplers, Cinnamon Stars, and you've all seen this one. And I've loved it since I was first watching Flosstube. When did this come out? 2013. But I remember when I first started Flosstube, about early 2000, maybe late 2019, I was watching The Housewives. I don't really watch them anymore, but Chelsea was working on Cinnamon Stars. It's like every week she chose Cinnamon Stars. She's still working on it. This one I love. Satsuma Street, what's it called? Folk Flowers. And it's 6 charts. I want to do them just like this, but use slightly different colors. I want to use more primary colors, more of what you'd see in like folk art. The colors aren't bad. Here it shows them individually. But they may be a little brighter than what I would want to do. I thought I'd want to darken them up a little bit and lighten the fabric. But I love those. I want to get some, I don't know what that fabric's called, where it's already finished on the sides. You know what it is. This was on the freebie table, and I thought this was awesome. This is the Omni Book of Winged Things. Look at all these charts. Look at all those butterflies. Birds. Down here has some, like a neat turkey, and is that a griffin? It also has all these charts in it. I love that. There are a lot of charts in here. Here it has dogs and cats with wings, and like you do as a memorial. And then all these things too. I don't know that any of those really jump out at me, but I have to really look at this in more detail. Cool, cool book. Thank you to the people who ever left these on the freebie table. Very generous. Fox and Rabbit, Lady Queen. Then I have a couple Cottage Gardens. The first one's October 31st. And the next is the Woodpecker. It's funny, they're the only two that I saw up on the table. And these are the two that I like the most. I've already stitched something similar to this, but I would stitch that again. Mine is an orange pumpkin, and not the bird is not as realistic looking. And then the woodpecker, I just love woodpeckers. So then Owl Forest. It's just called Owl Forest. Oh, by the Work Basket. I was thinking it was by Owl Forest. No, by the Work Basket. And it's a photograph. Wait, I'm going to try to get that close so you can see it. I thought that was cute. It's from 2001. And then there's one more I got. And I've already kitted it up. I was so excited about it. Shoot. Okay. I put it in the bag that I got from my friend Carmen. Thank you again, Carmen. One of my table mates went up and just got a stack of magazines from the freebie table, flipped through them. We passed them around the table, see if anybody wanted anything. This is one cross stitch gold. And January, February. It doesn't say the year on it. Issue 63, January, February. Well, I don't know what year, but it had in it these ornaments. You know, I'm doing ornaments for all my children. And I was doing some for my daughter-in-law, and they were like really old charts, and they were hand-drawn charts, and it was like Bible stories, like Cain, sorry, I got something all over me, like it had Noah and the Ark, and it had, I don't know, different little biblical verses and stuff on them. And I thought she would like those, but when I saw these, I'm like, this is more like what their Christmas tree would look like. They have little kids. They're very colorful. I kitted it up. I foolishly, well, I just looked at the DMC list, and the DMC list was pretty long because you can see all the colors here. It's going to be a lot of thread your needle, do 3 stitches, and change a color, which is a lot of fun. But so I was headed out to run some errands, and I was going to go to Hobby Lobby. So I checked out the DMC. Well, I was like, okay, I'm going to need some. While I was there, I'm like, oh, I need some fabric too. So I got some. This is done on 28 count. So I got 28 count white even weave. I don't know what it was exactly. This is actually on a light blue. When I got home and looked at it, I'm like, I should have known. All that snow wouldn't be stitched on white. That was so foolish, such a rookie thing to do. So these are by Emma Congdon. And these are cards, actually, that you could buy at that time, whenever this was. It's bugging me that there's no year in here. It's really crazy there's no year on it. I feel like it's like staring me in the face. Anyway, it doesn't matter, does it? Unless you want to go find it. Anyway, so I placed an order for some. Oh goodness, what just happened? Things popped up on my screen. They're not supposed to be there. Okay, I'm still recording. So anyway, I ordered some blue fabrics in 28 count, and I ordered, what was the other thing I got? Oh, I think it's a Plum Street chart, blue skin. George Washington with his one of his horses. The other one, Nelson, is also out, and I want to stitch them together, and maybe display them together. I don't know if I'm going to frame them or make them pillows or what, but I wanted to work on those. So I placed an order for those. Now, this is my Flosstube 54. I've been telling you all, Flosstube 55 is going to be a big giveaway. On October 18th, just a week from today, I turned 56. So I have to do the video when I'm still 55. I'm saying goodbye 55. Okay? And have a 55 celebration, because I thought it was just kind of neat that it was my age in the video. And I'm going to have a lot of giveaways, some bundles to give away. And I hope you all will come back for that. Tell your friends to come back. I ask that you be a subscriber. So if they want to do that ahead of time, they can go ahead and subscribe ahead of time. And that I'm going to have that video out within a week. And even if it's only giveaways, if I have nothing else to show you but giveaways, I'm going to come on here and make a video 55. It's going to be just giveaways. So I thank you all for stopping by, taking a look at my channel. I've been trying to catch up on a lot of Flosstube while I've been off work these last 2 weeks. I maybe failed to say that I'm on fall break. So the power outage was during fall break, and both retreats were, which is kind of what I'd planned, but I wasn't able to do all the things I planned on during fall break. That's for sure. I don't. Maybe I'll have some fully finishes. That was what I really planned to do on fall break, was make that stand up and fully finish some other items, and I just hadn't done it. Other than the pumpkins and the Ebenezer, it didn't happen. So, I don't know. The next week, I doubt that's going to happen. I shouldn't even say anything about that, because I know it's not going to. I have a busy week coming up. I'm going back to work and everything. And my grandsons will be here as soon as I go and get them today. So I hope you all are doing well. I ask you again to please remember the people hit by Hurricane Helene. I don't know what Hurricane Milton has done as far as damage. I haven't watched the news. I'm not a news watcher. I started watching some stuff about North Carolina, and I was just in tears. I thought, I'm not going to watch this. I know there are terrible things going on, happened to so many people, and I can just pray for them, but I don't need to watch it. I just can't. I just couldn't watch it. It's too sad. I can't imagine, not even just losing things, but the loss of life is just devastating. Just devastating. So anyway, here's looking at better things to come. I did just get the text that came through was my daughter-in-law saying, "Did you know we had a earthquake last night?" I had no idea. I guess I slept through it. I did hear like a door rattle one time, but I thought it was because the window was open. and it was blowing it. And probably that's what it was. All right. I'm out. I will see you all next time. Bye.